every department typically has their own individual objectives, but it's so important to tie it back to the overall business objectives. So if you're, moving in another direction away from the top three objectives of the organization, you could be doing a lot of work and not having it add value. And so I think while we're talking about a kind of a post-mortem or a post-assessment, I think before you go into the beginning of a project or um, building a plan for, a potential crisis that might happen or peak period of time, you do need to make sure that you understand what are the key objectives of the organization, how am I aligning that plan, and then your post-mortem should absolutely be an evaluation of how you did against those top three priorities, those key objectives. There's so many different business cases that we've all experienced that we can probably talk through, but I'll kind of give one example. So we, worked with an organization that was trying to cut down their speed of delivery to the customer. So they were at kind of a 7-day, I know it's unheard of now, but a 7-day delivery from click to, drop off at the house, from click to door. And they wanted to get that down to 3 days. And so that was the key objective. So if you think about that, then there's a lot of processes behind that that might change. So there may be some room for, increasing your financial budget to get to that if that's the key objective, hiring more people, implementing new technology, whatever it might be, to get to that objective. And so the measure at the end of that probably is still how close did we get to that target? Did we get to that 3-day delivery? But oh, what were the pain points that were caused by doing that? And let's reassess. Is that still the goal that we want moving forward? And guess what? This organization actually, when they did the post-mortem, they actually decided that they didn't need 3 days. Like they had done some surveys with their customers and so forth. And as long as they got it before, a key time, the holiday, Christmas, they had spent a lot of money trying to achieve that 3-day. And instead they kind of found a balance and they came in the middle.
I can think back of doing this process and being very surprised where the leader of a facility or the leaders of facilities giving feedback on a safety program, and probably one of the aspects that we sort of had injected with a little bit tongue-in-cheek, where we had the leaders going out on the floor and doing activities, asking safety questions, giving small prizes, giving candy, things like that, walking around on the floor. And we were very surprised at that feedback about how important that had become to those leaders, because it was required of them. But they loved going out on the floor, but they couldn't get out on the floor because of all the calls and meetings that they were in. And so the fact that they had to do this allowed them to be out on the floor working with their teams, and that was huge for them. And we thought we'd added it as a little bit of a sort of comedy segment to the whole operation, but it ended up being hugely beneficial for the whole operation. And because we asked for the input, we got that input, and we didn't know it had it not been for that.